Yeah, my name is Ishmael Johnson. I'm the Center Director here at Stafford House Calgary. I am responsible for every piece, every detail, every day of your journey to Stafford House, and then while you're here. This includes things inside the class, outside the class on activities, finance questions, visa questions, what happens after you graduate, documents. I'm responsible for the teaching staff, student services, and everything in between. Stafford House Calgary has been in operation in this facility here on 6th Avenue in downtown Calgary since 2017, but language programs have been taught in this facility since the early 90s. We have the first floor, which means that the nearest train station is a 1-minute walk just south here, and it is free transportation in the downtown area, so it's very convenient to get here. It's convenient to explore the city after classes. We have two sides to our schools. We have 10 total classrooms. We have a computer lab facility, a main kitchen area and student lounge that has a foosball table, couches, chairs, microwaves, student refrigerator, TV. We have a quiet study area for students where they can work on group projects or they can study silently by their own. That also has a small library inside. Each of the 10 classrooms does have the interactive Promethean smartboard technology software systems that is used both to display the internet, documents, iTools that are associated with the curriculum books that we use. When it comes to our ratios, our maximum number of students in a class will always be 15 students. So there will never be more than 15 students in any class. Usually the minimum for any class is 3 or 4 students. Generally on the year, our average class ratio is 9 to 10 students. In the summer months, you will see it a little larger with 13 or 14. Doing a balance between having a student feel comfortable, which means allowing them to think, allowing them to express themselves in their native language. If we go around and we are smacking people on the back of the head saying, hey, why aren't you speaking English? I think this creates a negative relationship between speaking English and speaking my own language. I don't want there to be negative associations with any student who comes into a school, let's say very low level, and the first word we say hello, good morning, they say, something in their home language. I'm not going to be mad at them. I don't want there to be this idea where if I speak my language, it has to be a secret, something like, not at all. I want there to be positive associations with English, not negative ones, and the same with their home countries, because culture shock is real, and it's something that we monitor really heavily in the school. We have a lot of student services programs oriented towards helping students adapt to Canadian culture. Many of them come from a variety of different societies that operate differently. They're more strict or incredibly less strict, and so it's always an adjustment for students to arrive. If you arrive and you have the expectation you will be here for 5 months, right? And first day was a bad day. This can create a lot of difficulties. So it's really important for me that first day, that first week, the students are comfortable with their communication. So Calgary is a commercial business and starting to become a very international city. Calgary itself is a new city in the world. It's about 100 years old almost, maybe 110 years old. So it is relatively new. The last 30 years have seen this city triple in size. Calgary is located in Alberta, which is a western province in Canada. So there is a slower pace to the environment, to the people here. Calgary is a very sunny city. In the winter or in the summer, 9 days out of 10, there will be sun. We have 2 seasons, winter and construction. Is the joke that people in Canada and Calgary like to use, but it is winter and summer. In the winter, like I said, it is sunny, but it will get cold. The average temperature around -10, -12 degrees, with some days being as cold as -35 with the wind. But in the summertime, 15, 18 degrees is normal for a 5-6 month period. There can be in the middle of the summer maybe 18 hours, 16 hours of direct sunlight, which is fantastic, where you finish classes and you have 8 hours before the sun goes down. You have so much to explore. I would say the only other thing I'd say to introduce Calgary is that we are 1 hour from Banff National Park and 4 hours from Jasper National Park, two of the most popular national parks in Canada, and this is in the Canadian Rockies. Calgary also has the most Greenland park areas inside of a city in North America. I would say for Korean students, living and studying, potentially working in Calgary and the Banff area, there's a lot of opportunities. One, you get to explore nature that is specific to Calgary, the trees, the wildlife, the types of activities that you can go on in the city are not necessarily things that you can get in Korea. I would say the energy focus and the business finance focus of Calgary allows for experiential learning, networking that will allow you to take things back to Korea with you from your experience with Canada. Interesting thing where the culture and the tradition is very Western. So there is this idea for cowboys, this idea for coming from nothing and making something for yourself. This is still very much a culture they have here. So it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter any of these other factors. What matters is, can you perform the work? Can you do a good job? You know, will you put in effort? And then we will, as a province, sponsor you for a work permit, for example, right? It means that there's low taxes, which is quite nice, because I think it is actually the lowest of them. I think one other province has 5%, which is fantastic. I think BC is at 12.5%. I know Ontario's 15% for their taxes, and so automatically it is less expensive. On average, 13 to 15 different nationalities in the school. Our major nationality is Brazil for most of the year. This is followed by Mexico and Colombia. This is followed third and fourth by Korea, Taiwan, and Japan. In any class, we pay close attention to the nationality mix, the nationality ratio. We usually do not allow more than 33% of one class to be a single nationality. We also try to pay attention to language, not just nationality. So for example, there are many different countries in South America that all speak Spanish. And so putting a limited number of Spanish speakers together is a top priority for us as well. My first response there is our program's diversity and flexibility and strength. Within Canada, there are so many options to study. If it is how long you'll study, if it's longer than 6 months, for example, you'll need a study permit. But if it's shorter than 6 months, it's really not necessary to take a study permit. Our program takes advantage of this. We have a number of hours per day that you can take in classes. Our afternoon classes rotate their topics every month. I would say our student services is fantastic. Digital resources that we have available for students on the student portal, as well as the availability of our staff in the school to assist with opening a bank account, getting a new SIM card, exchanging currency, finding and planning a vacation route or a weekend excursion in Banff, Jasper, Vancouver, even all of these different things. Taking the train from Calgary to Toronto was something that one of our students did recently. He was actually from Korea, and he took the train from, he took a bus from Calgary to Edmonton, the capital, and he went from Edmonton to Toronto by train, and he started at the Stafford House Toronto school the next week. It was kind of fantastic, and so it was a great journey for him. So if the goal is studying English, if the goal is going to university, if the goal is using your time to get additional skills for your job resume to take back home, if it's looking for immigration purposes, there's always an option. right? Between our IELTS test preparation, the general English program, the university pathways, all of these different options are easily choosable, and you can usually there's a single price, and you can choose between which program you want to do without any additional cost.